Crashing waves on broken dreams, lost in corners of my mind. Fractured echoes, voices grind. Every thought a battle scar. Haunted whispers from afar, clawing, scratching, never rest. In this chaos I'm a guest. Voices, voices, screaming loud. In my head a wicked crowd. Can't escape this twisted race. Through the madness, find my place. Silent nights now filled with cries. Every tear a new disguise. Mask I wear to hide the pain. In this storm I'm soaked with rain. Fading hope with every breath. Walking paths laced tight with death. Struggling to stay upright. In this darkness seeking light. Voices, voices, screaming loud. In my head a wicked crowd. Can't escape this twisted race. Through the madness, find my place. Steady hope with every breath. Walking pathways tight with death. Struggling to stay upright. In this darkness seeking light. Voices, voices, screaming loud. In my head a wicked crowd. Can't escape this twisted race. Through the madness, find my place.
Hello everybody, and welcome to tonight's coverage of the YesterYear Racing League, where the past meets the present. This evening we're excited to be bringing you coverage of all the action from iRacing's virtual Thompson Motor International Speedway. Maconi Entertainment is here to bring you the action from all types of racing, including the weekly Fast Friday series. No matter what you're racing, we can bring the action to life. My name is Brayton Laster, joined in the booth tonight, this lovely evening, is Shane Mundy with DJ Line working our controls as our producer. The YesterYear Racing League is a unique one to the iRacing platform and seeks to emulate historical races in the 1990 Whelen Modified Series and the 1990 Southern Modified Auto Racing Teams, or the S.M.A.R.T Tour. These races would be identical to the real-world races that occurred, and we'll be bringing you these bits of history throughout tonight's broadcast. Tonight, we're emulating the 1990 ADAP 150, won by Mike McLaughlin in a caution-filled race, 11 cautions, totaling over a third, or almost a third of the race, 46 of the 150 laps. Shane, this is some of the top modified and open-wheel drivers on all of iRacing as far as the oval circuit is concerned, and consists of a list of invited drivers from the OBRL, Bootleg Racing League, and the Red Light Racing League. What do you think we can expect to see tonight?
Well, it's a short track, so probably a decent bit of beating and banging. You never know with these modifieds, so obviously you don't want to rough them up too much. I've never personally gotten behind the wheel of a modified on iRacing, but I have a lot of respect for the guys that do. And Thompson is a pretty tricky racetrack. Definitely can easily overdrive the corners here. There's a pretty preferred groove around the bottom at this place, and if you get out of the groove, you're going to start to struggle. And you don't want to lose too much ground to the people behind you, because if you get passed by one guy on the bottom and they have some other people behind them, you could probably lose multiple spots by them.
Now we're going to be talking about one of the fun aspects of this league. That's the Hubble AI system. They make a prediction for every single race. They have different weighted factors, including their average race finishing position, the percentage of top 10 finishes, your win percentage, your laps led, your incidents per laps, your pole positions, your passes, your quality passes, and your closing passes at the end of the race. So these are round 8, race number 8 here tonight at Thompson. Predictions for your top finishers. Thomas Ogle leads by a hefty margin over the weighted factor of a score of 0.8. For reference, that's, I believe, out of a total 1 or so. So he's 83% better, I guess it's estimating, than most of the field in certain categories, and Donnie Moore and Brian Bianchi as well. So see the track layout, a very symmetrical track. Both ends are fairly similar. Turn 1 coming in at 15 degrees of banking, and turn 3 and 4 there on the other end at 14 degrees banking, 5/8 mile track. One of the oldest track surfaces actually that most track, as far as tracks are still open, that is still being ran on. It's not the original 1940 surface, but it's pretty abrasive.
It's, like I said, this is a tough racetrack. It's got some newer pavement down in these corners. Can't really tell from here, but especially down in like turn 1 and 2, it's a lot more obvious down there. We got 150 laps tonight. These guys are hitting the grid. And you talked about the Hubble AI, and we're talking about all the different factors that it takes into account. And looking over it, it was pretty cool to find out that it takes so many different factors into account, like their driving records, how clean they run, stuff like that. So that probably bodes pretty well for Ogle.
Yeah, the grid is rolling. See if we can able to go through the starting lineup here. You saw the quick race now. There's no fast pairs, no lucky dogs, no wave arounds like it's 1990. Meanwhile, the front row, like it's not 1990, it's 2024. Thomas Ogle and Brian Bianchi in your front row. Ryan Pittman there in 3rd, Chris Davis in 4th, Todd Liston there in 5th, Alan Wallmaker in 6th, Joshua Beckley going to be in row number 4. Jerry Isaac is outside there in 8th, Orange Child in 9th, Thomas Hilbert there rounding out your top 10 chain.
Yeah, we got Jeffrey Leiden there in the 11th position, who currently sits in the 6th spot in points. Stephen Hilbert will roll off 12th tonight. That takes us back to 13th and 14th with Lowell Jewell, Bruce Pearson. Then we got Victor Lane, Brian Johnson, 15th, 16th, Lloyd Moore, and John Hastings, 17th and 18th. And that will do it for our starting lineup.
Say that those 2 drivers are back. Lloyd Moore, John Hastings elected not to qualify. Your 2 championship contenders on the front row. Ogle came into tonight 3 points behind Brian Bianchi. It's been a rough go around for some races from Thomas Ogle. The pole tonight definitely going to shake things up as Field's going through 3 and 4, expecting a green flag this time. Slow roll 40 miles an hour. Thomas Ogle on the point, and green flag is out.
Good launch for Ogle. Talked about that points battle. Gotta love that factor into tonight. Runs him a little wide there. And on the exit of the corner, it's actually going to be Bianchi with a little bit of head of steam going into 3.
This track definitely, I don't want to say a single group, but single and a half group, a bit of contact for the lead. All going to get that advantage across the line. Still not clear from Bianchi. Bianchi making the outside work. Typically, this isn't a track that too wide doesn't work for too many laps, but so far, Ogle is actually making it stick there on the bottom, able to come in front. Bianchi's going to get turned. Contact behind.
Boy.
Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. That was Chris Davis sliding into Bianchi. We were just talking about before we went green, no faster pairs in this league. So, go ahead, Shane.
We were talking about the advantage that Ogle had there, getting such a great starting spot, such a tight points battle. And it's not even 5 laps in. We're lap 3, just starting lap 3, and he's already gone around. And you mentioned no faster pairs. Doesn't look like the 41 is too dinged up, as the 7 right there was the one that kind of piled in. Let's take a look at what happened here, Braden.
Yeah, well, Bianchi there on the outside, Ogle on the bottom. Bianchi was finally able to get around him. And so then when they were side by side, like I was saying, Bianchi was making the outside work and finally coming off a turn 2 here. Ogle was able to get in front of Bianchi. Here comes Chris Davis in the 7th. Side by side, he's got Ryan Pittman just inside, and just looks like Chris Davis judged it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think when Ogle got clear to the lead there, or sorry, Bianchi got clear to the lead off turn 2. I want to say it kind of wadded him up a little bit, stacked him up. The 41 probably had to check up ever so slightly here. And then the 08's going to get into the left rear right there of the 7 and send him into that corner. Little too out of control.
Definitely not what Brian Bianchi wanted. So Thomas Ogle, your leader, started on the pole, stays out front. Meanwhile, a couple drivers all in pit row, not all of them. Lloyd Moore comes down for a little tune-up. Brian Bianchi, no surprise there with that damage. No meatball flag, so if he's able to get out on track, a championship run isn't going to get too hurt. So has a pretty hefty points gap over third. Lloyd Moore in third, 78 points. Brian Bianchi has over the third place. It's a 3 points over Thomas Ogle. He's got to be careful for.
Definitely has his work cut out for him. As thankfully this incident occurred early, didn't total the 41 car at all. So hopefully he'll be able to get right back up there. And Brayton, interesting fact about this league, you talked about it, we're in 1990 here, single file restarts.
Yeah, no lucky dogs, no wave around, single file restarts, no faster pairs. So Bianchi does get back out on track as Ogle going to be leading the field down the backstretch through 3, through 4. At the restart line, and green flag is back out for the second time tonight. Ogle a little bit slow in the restart.
They all kind of stacked up there at the back. Not sure who that was in the 5th spot there. Didn't get a great launch. Kind of bottled them all up. So far, they're all still good, though. Not a whole lot of separation between these guys, obviously just coming back around for the first lap on the restart. But we do have a side-by-side battle for the second position going on for a moment there into turn 1.
That's Ryan Pittman there to work on the outside of, obviously Ryan Pittman on the inside of Todd Liston. Liston trying to make the outside work, and so far doing a great job at it. Pittman came into this race tied for third in points, so looking for a good points run currently.
The 08 got a little sideways there off turn 4 and just had to gather it up as to not, of course, wipe himself out, but maybe a few others, as we have one near the go around there off turn 2.
Now Wanamaker getting a little loose.
Oh my goodness, that was a close call, bunch of close calls, and we are back under the
big wreck in turn
here.
3 and 4.
A lot of guys involved here. Is that the 41 again? No, okay, it's the 7. 7 got a piece of this one as well.
Yeah, this is definitely re-racking them, restacking them. 41 does a great job of getting by. 7 a little bit of the action though as well, so see go back here in a minute and see what happens. But so far proven to be a race of attrition, just like the Schroeder Life was race in 1990.
Absolutely. See, right off turn, this is turn 4, the 32 Todd ride almost goes around. He's able to gather it up. Don't believe, was this the cause of our caution?
No, yeah, they're looking for Stephen Hilbert in the 52. So it was just inside the top 10 there in that 10th spot. You're going to see that blue car. There's where Allen gets loose coming off the corner. We're looking at this blue car right there in the middle of the screen. Goes into the corner. Just drives through Torrance Childs. A couple other drivers checking up, spinning out. It's Brian Johnson and Bruce Pearson on the bottom. 7 involved as well. So 4 drivers with heavy damage. It's Stephen Hilbert getting the worst in the 52. Meatball flag for him.
Yeah, I want to say that this was not quite an identical crash to the first one we saw, but maybe some of these guys kind of just, unfamiliar with each other's braking points. I mean, that didn't look malicious or anything. Just maybe wasn't anticipating car in front of him being that hard on the brakes and got into him. We saw something sort of similar in the first accident where they were misjudging the gaps around each other. So they're just trying to get kind of familiar racing around who they are. And Brayden, you know all too well that that is a both real world and virtual world problem.
I see the weather on the screen, the air temperature 70 degrees, track temperature 72. So track temperature flaring are not flaring. Tempers are starting to flare a little bit, judging by some of the guys' driving styles. So I'm sure they're eager to get back racing, and that's part of short track racing. As you got tracks like Thompson here, that's not single group. It's about that lower middle group is a much preferred line. It's pretty dependent on driving style, but there's different ways you can run that single to middle group. You can run a diamond line, you can enter higher and diamond or arch off to get the drive down the corner, and so each line has its own braking point. Getting ready to go back green for the 3rd time tonight. Thomas Ogle once again leading the field. Green flag back out. A lot better restart last time. The field gets rolling.
So far, so good here in turn 1. And we talked about Bianchi, who was involved in that earlier accident. He's already back up to the 14th spot, looking to make up some more ground on this green flag run. Don't see anybody really trying that top side yet, but Brayton, a lot of these guys have been able to make the top work a lot better than I maybe would have anticipated before we went green.
Yeah, I just think we're not seeing a whole lot of side-by-side racing, and drivers are able to make the run stick. I think of Thompson, especially in the lower horsepower cars, these Tour modified to about 612 horsepower and these 15-inch tires. They're able to maybe send a little bit deeper at the cost of more tire wear, but the core track conditions, I think that's allowing them to run higher up the track than they normally would. Especially run that diamond line. In a street stock here, it's kind of that lower middle group typically, and you gotta use the front bumper to get someone out of the way.
Yeah, you talked about the pretty low track temp. The whole track in shade essentially right now, not a bit of sunshine out here. As you're on board with Alan Wanamaker, we saw him go for a near slide, was able to hang on to it, sitting pretty in the third spot right now. So we watch on up ahead of them, Thomas Ogle continuing to lead, who he has definitely shown the way thus far.
Yeah, expecting the track that to come on at some point during this race. Currently 7:15 in sim time p.m. Since they're going to get cooler as well. So expecting to drop a couple degrees over the course of the race. Meanwhile, battle for lead, Todd Liston there in second. Thomas Ogle has led almost, I believe he actually has led every lap. I don't think Bianchi got him there on the first lap. So Ogle able to pull away, and our Liston and Ogle able to pull away from Wanamaker in third at 0.8 of a second gap. You see the gaps there, and a little bit of a battle back there in pack, some bigger gaps.
Yes, we got a bit of a near accident there on the back straightaway between some of these guys. It looks like everybody gets away all right and still going straight. But these guys have been on edge so far to start the night. A lot of antsy moves. Let's see if we can kind of figure out what maybe almost happened.
Now riding with Torrent Childs, I believe he was in that wreck previously. He goes in the corner, gets loose. So track temperature might be a little too cool. Not able to get tires up to temperature. Yellow flag back out on track. And we got some drivers going through the grass.
Yeah, we've definitely seen that low track temp bite a lot of these guys. There's not a lot of grip out here to be found. A lot of guys getting loose on exit, on entry, and everywhere in between. Let's take a look at what's got us under what I believe is now our third yellow of the night.
It's going to be Chris Davis, number 7 machine. Coming off with turn 4, yeah. Going to have some contact here, Shane.
And, all right. Well, we did see those two get into each other earlier, but it wasn't really at the fault of the 7 car. You're on board with the 7 here. Let's see what he saw.
Bianchi get loose. Just slows up and nowhere for Chris Davis to go. So
yeah, nothing intentional about that. Just another victim of these slicker track temps that we talked about. Not a lot of grip. These guys are very on the edge of control and out of control. So definitely going to be interested to see how that changes. Got a little bit of sun peeking onto the track there.
Yeah, some guys trying to fix the whole out of control thing. A couple drivers coming down pit road. Those drivers include Jerry Isaacs, Thomas Hilbert, Jeffrey Lydon, Brian Bianchi, and Chris Davis. So some of them getting repairs, some of them getting fuel, some of them getting tires. So only 2 sets of tires in the pit. Some of them electing to take them early. We have seen some races have some very long green flag runs here in the YesterYear Racing League. So some of them will hopefully expecting that long green flag run where tire wear will be huge.
Yeah, we were talking before we even got on the air about how we might not even see many cautions at all tonight, but I don't think these guys were maybe prepared for the track conditions, and thus we're under caution number 3. I'd expect us to get our 1 to go signal from Barney the flagman any lap now, maybe right here. And Ogle, like you said, that last run has led every lap so far.
Yeah, we talked about the real life event having 9 cautions for 46 laps. Well, so far, just half of the laps we've ran have been under caution. So we are on a great pace to blow that record out of the water. Hopefully we don't. Like I mentioned, though, we were just talking about like caution is not a common theme here in the YesterYear Racing League. But Thompson, a little bit different track. We have gone to this track before. This is our second visit this season. Actually, 2 races ago, Thomas Ogle won this race. So Ogle clutching, looks like, trying to save a little bit of fuel. Might be a little bit short. Just trying to stay out the whole way. Maybe expecting a long green flag run.
Yeah, we're gonna get the lights off that pace truck up front, so we'll be going green at the start of lap 27 here. And cannot say enough about how cool of a concept this league has brought with the different time periods, bringing it back and basing everybody's cars off real drivers from that time period. Going over some of the notes here, looking at some of the history of this very race, is that it was scheduled to be run on yesterday's date in 1990, but it was moved due to weather. It actually ended up running on August 22nd of 1990. So we're almost right on the date of it.
Yep, as Thomas Ogle on the date with that green flag. He's going to get it in the air, going to turn one. Todd Liston in line right behind him. Wanamaker still in third, running a little bit lower groove there. But Liston all over the back bumper of Thomas Ogle.
Hey, he's gotten close to him a few times, but can't seem to get any good of enough of a run by his standards, I guess, to peak above or below to maybe try and make a run at the lead. But also got to take into account there's still about 122 and a half laps left right now here at Thompson. So maybe just trying to make sure that he has a car to fight Ogle for the win come the end of this race. As there's Bianchi.
Seeing the single file line here all throughout the pack. We got Jeffrey Lyden focusing on him in the Piggly Wiggly 39 machine, trying to work his way up through the field. Currently down one spot from where he started, as Bianchi just got his way around him. Side by side in front of them, though. It's going to be Brian Johnson outside, Jerry Isaacs on the bottom of the 51. A little bit of contact almost.
Very close quarters there. Looks like they'll get away unharmed on this time at least. These guys have definitely shown that they're not afraid to make some kind of gutsy moves, in a sense, already tonight. As look at Bianchi go.
Definitely one of the fastest drivers on track. We mentioned this came down, got some fresh rubber. So you're working through traffic a little bit slower overall. He should have a pretty good lap, though. Work actually finally getting through that traffic back inside the top 10. Yeah,
he's definitely rebounding pretty well. New rubber or not, from that early accident back on about lap 2. He's back up inside the top 10 now. Big wiggle there. I believe that was the 22 car right up top there. He's able to hang on to it, drop a spot though.
Now Bruce Pearson there, racing Jerry Isaac and Brian Johnson, all three of them not playing too kindly. Allowed Bianchi to close up big time. Bianchi, one of the quickest drivers in the top 10, third quickest that last time by. So he's on the back bumper now, the outside of Brian Johnson, behind Bruce Pearson, the 22, trying to get two birds with one stone. You don't have to get half a stone. Looking for the other half right now. Bianchi
is carving through this field right now. We talked about the close points battle that he's in with Ogle. And right now, Ogle's in the race lead. So Bianchi knows what, is at stake if there's a big differential in their finishing positions tonight. Slides it really deep into turn 1 against the 22 car. He's door to door going to turn 3.
There was a point when Thomas Ogle had all but ran away with the championship. I mean, he was absolutely dominant the first 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 races, or race number 8. He's been dominant all season minus 2 races. We were last race out at Stafford back in June 25th, and then at Richmond at April 9th, the late race incident took him out. But other than that, other than those 2 outside the top 10 finishes, the only other finishes are either first 3 times or second twice. Yeah,
which, that is just insane stuff. So if that's any indicator to the rest of these guys out here that they're going to have a tough time upsetting Ogle tonight, not impossible, but a tough feat nonetheless.
Yeah, Brian Bianchi gets loose off of turn 2. He's going to lose a little bit of time. Actually going to lose the spot. Bruce Pearson, though, takes advantage on his outside, going to send it deep in the corner. Not able to seal the deal. Not able to get the spot. Yellow flag out for a wreck. Alistair on track. Big wreck. In turn 3 and 4, we got a lot of drivers involved in this one. Back in the pack, Victor Lane, Josh Hastings, Thomas Hilbert, and Ryan Pittman. Oh, trouble for the leaders.
Yeah, the 61 just pulled it. I don't think the 13 is too banged up, but he just pulled. Oh my goodness, there's still Waterman up here. This is not ideal.
Lots to break down here. They were battling back there for, I believe, 14th or so, and the leaders came up on the scene and started pulling down the track in front of them. Caution out for, oh man, I think Ogle might be broke pretty good here.
there is, and there's no. We talked about how this league, no lucky dogs. So those guys were trying to get spun back around and going before they lost a lap.
It's gonna be back here. Thomas Hobart, the 61, is gonna be the initial cause of the caution, and Chris Davis once again in the 7.
Yeah, there's 61.
Already spun. There's the 08 involved, and
Here
so
we go.
see what happens here. Just through 1 and 2, and going to 3 and 4, all goes wrong.
But the 7 sure has been around the action tonight. Dives in here. Oh, washed up there. 3 and 4.
And then before that, you see them start to wreck, sliding into the corner. That's Ryan Pittman. Something happened to Pittman that we must have missed because he was top 5. Yeah, Pittman was top 5, and he was all the way back there in 16th when that wreck happened. And then, oh man! So John Hastings, I don't know if that was just out of frustration or just didn't have control of his car, but then the Ogle gets up to the scene.
This is on board 61. There goes a 7, just washed up. I'm not sure if
Never seen him come down the track here. Yeah, watch this.
Yeah, well, so watch the 61. He gets it fired back up, starts backing up, and talk about how there's no lucky dog. So you're trying to get out, rolling again before the leader gets there, and he just pulls out right in front of the leader.
And then Todd Liston there, and the 87 gets turned. That was their 2nd place driver. Yeah, so he had to come down pit road and get some damage fixed, and through all of that, Alan Wallmaker actually inherited the lead.
Definitely a lot to break down there. My goodness, all kinds of action from just what started as a couple cars making contact, a bunch of guys piling in, has really changed what could be the whole outcome of this race.
I'm going to go back and find out what happened to Ryan Pittman, because he was running top 5 for most of this race, and then all of a sudden he's back in the back. I'm not sure what happened to him.
Yeah, there's been so much action on this racetrack tonight. It's got our heads spinning up here, even in the booth. Hard to keep up with everything.
He was at some point, sorry to interrupt you, but Ryan Pittman made a green flag pit stop on that last restart coming to the green. I just don't know if he mistimed it, misjudged it, or what. Lights off in the pace cars. Alan Wallmaker, Joshua Buckley, and Victor Lane, actually that 3rd car in line, is a 1 lap down. So lap cars are in the same line with their leaders.
Alan Wallmaker, first different leader that we have had in this race so far tonight. Obviously, probably not under the circumstances that they would prefer, but you'll take it how you can get it. Now we'll see how he decides to lead the show here.
Leading the show, he's doing slow rolling through 3 and 4. Green flag out for Alan Wallmaker. Buckley is a little bit slow in the restart, but makes up some time going through 1 and 2.
Yeah, pretty good restart for Wanamaker, but the 13 had a really good 1 and 2. Unfortunately, Wanamaker's going to gap him down here into 3 and 4, and you look behind him, and that's what you want to be in your mirror. All the chaos going on throughout the field. How about that Culpeppers 41 right there, ahead of this 39? That is Bianchi, who has now rallied back up into the top 5 after getting in the accident early. You're talking about how he was at a disadvantage because of the early accident, how he'd need to rebound. Now it's Ogle that is behind the 41.
And fun stat here, Thomas Ogle has led over 400 laps this season over the course of 7.
Ogle almost got in an accident again back there. They stacked up really good. Sorry to interrupt, Brady.
No, you're perfectly fine.
But they are coming out off 2, and I'm not sure what happened, but the 13, everybody kind of started bottlenecking, and Ogle had to pop out of line. They're all right.
I got drove through there from Todd Liston behind. So he's in a pack of hungry hippos, and he does not want anything to eat. But Ogle has led 400 laps at this point in season, 7.5-ish races through, 7 1/3 technically. And Wallmaker leading his first laps ever this season, currently by a dominant margin, 4/10 over Joshua Buckley.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't even really see the 13 of Ogle break away by just about as much as Wanamaker has right now. The 13 was holding a pretty respectable gap, but not anything too crazy. We got him fighting his way back through the field, and Wanamaker is setting sail out the front, so he's making these first laps led of the season count.
For sure, and then looking at the tire run as well, Wanamaker and Buckley both on their original starting set. Meanwhile, driver in 3rd, Jerry Isaacs, I don't know if he took tires, but he did pit about 30 laps ago. It's a little bit fresher rubber, possibly. He's not letting these guys pull away. It's on the back bumper of Joshua Buckley, Jerry Isaacs is. And you got Lil Jewel there in the fourth machine, also on his original starting set. And Bianchi, you mentioned, has that fresher set than most of these guys. So a lot of different tire strategies throughout the field.
You know, these different cautions have really thrown a loop into things. I mean, everybody's so different on what their plan would be to make it to the end right now. Isaacs and Buckley, a little bit of contact out of 4 there. They're able to keep it straight. And that's allowing Wanamaker to pull away by even more, now almost 6/10 as they go down the back straightaway.
There's a handful number 13 tonight, I've noticed. Got Joshua Buckley in the 013. Jerry Isaac just made his way around him there for a second. And you got Thomas Ogle in the 13. So 13 has been up front in some capacity, not up front. You see the gap there, that white grayish-ish car of Alan Wanamaker running the highline, able to make it work, and Isaac's trying to reel him in. A couple drivers have left the session, parked it for the night, including Stephen Hilbert, John Hastings, and Chris Davis. So all the drivers multiple laps down, all involved in that previous wreck. Or not Hilbert, I'm not sure what happened to Stephen Hilbert, but those other drivers have all parked it for the night.
And tough to have to end your night. Honestly, still pretty early into the race. We are under 100 to go, 95 laps remaining here at Thompson at this moment. This has probably been close to, if not the longest green flag run that we have had tonight. Been a lot of slipping and sliding, a lot of early incidents, but these guys have seemingly calmed it down for the most part at this stage.
Okay, we're at that point where the drivers that like to go through the faster pairs, well, one, they can't go through them because they don't have any, but at this point they have wrecked out of the race, is what I like to call it, the evaluation process. Because, I mean, you have some drivers obviously innocent bystanders, but you have the same drivers that DNF week in and week out, and, you know, they sit there and they're 15th in points and they wonder why. It's because they're not out here.
Yeah, I mean, to finish first, you must first finish. You got to make sure that you have a car come the white flag lap to even have a shot at not even just winning, but just getting a respectable finish. One going sideways. There's a 39. Oh, what a save.
Definitely a great save. Yeah, the Piggly Wiggly machine. Sure, it was wiggling its way on that steering wheel. And look at the gap for the lead. Jerry Isaac is slowly starting to reel on Wanamaker. He was 6/7, now under half a second.
I mean, he talks about how these front two, I believe he said that they are on their original tire set, have not pit yet. Wanamaker, had gapped them, maybe burnt his up a little bit more.
Well, Isaac's on the pressure set. Isaac got around Buckley, yes. So when Buckley was second, he was on the original set. Now Isaac has about 20 lap pressure tires, and again, probably only 4 or 5 green flag lap difference, but all the road right now for Jerry Isaacs.
Yeah, you see the gap to the leader on your screen there for a moment. Honestly, impressive that Wanamaker is holding the gap he is over somebody with fresher rubber, but maybe making some of the cleaner air work, running solid line. It's not really been slipping up any since he's been able to get up here and take the lead. Bianchi has taken the 4th spot away now, so still a solid rebound for the 41. There's Brian.
Yeah, definitely a couple different drivers.
Oh, don't lose it again. I ain't doing the commentator jinx here, right?
Hey, but they get it going. Also looking at laps led as far as this season goes. Wanamaker mentioned getting his first laps led of the season. Jerry Isaacs as well, coming in at 58 laps led tonight. So not very many. I'm pretty much get out front and lead a couple. Gap under 4/10 at the line. Bianchi, though, holding off a huge pack of drivers eager to get around him.
Yeah, I think right now Bianchi would maybe like a quick little caution to come out where everybody can get back even with one another. That some of these guys, being up here in the booth watching on the cameras might not tell quite the story that they're experiencing with the way their cars are handling at this stage after what has now turned into a pretty lengthy green flag run. Some of these guys are probably begging for there to be a caution so they can put some fresh rubber on their modified. But Wanamaker so far, he might not want it. he's in a perfect position right now.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if you look at the fastest driver on the track right now, actually Ryan Pittman in the 08 machine. A little bit fresher rubber than most of the field, but he's one lap down. So, we can't really do much behind this pack of drivers eager to get inside the top 5. Brian Bianchi and Lou Jewell making sure they don't. But Lloyd Moore, Tom Schogel, and Todd Liston battle for the lead, heating up a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see if this turns into anything. Wanamaker's been able to hold strong so far. See, the 51's going to get a run here off 4, and we are going to have some lap traffic coming up. Isaac's thinking about where he wants to make the move. He's going to make it here in 1 and 2, and they're going to be side by side. Coming off turn 2, maybe Wanamaker using the top. We talked about how we didn't expect that to work that well. But even in a battle for the lead, the top, they're getting a great run off exit. And Wanamaker's able to hold the lead thanks to that.
Yeah, lap traffic definitely going to be a part of the picture here. That's Victor Lane in front of them, already 1 lap down, about to go 2 laps down. Currently running in the 12th position. So Wanamaker are going to have to get smart here. They're going to catch him going into 1, it looks like.
Yeah, there's only one other car right now that is 2 laps down. So I was about to say, I don't think there will be much of a fight being put up here. But still kind of impacted this battle as Buckley has honestly kind of reeled these guys back in a little bit. You see that blue car out the back there.
They got to get around the lap traffic now as well. Does a great job of doing so. And now Wanamaker and Isaac kind of fell off a little bit getting around that traffic and then battling each other. Isaac has looked inside and that kills your drive off, able to fall back, and Buck able to reel both these guys in over the last handful of laps. That's the line. Bucky actually pretty even with Wanamaker, so he needs someone else to come get in the way as the battle back here for 4th and 5th continues. Some drivers starting to get a little more eager.
Yeah, Bianchi is doing his best Ryan Newman impression right now, not letting these guys get around no matter what. He's done a great job of that so far, but obviously when you get stuck behind somebody that you are clearly faster than, not only just, speaking about the 26 here, but I mean like 2 or 3 other cars that are behind this 41 that know they're probably faster than Bianchi, you're going to start to lose a little bit of your patience, because the more you wait, the less maybe willing the guys behind you are to wait.
Speaking of waiting, Isaac's not waiting anymore. Try and get to the bottom, try and get to the lead. Inside of Wanamaker's going to fall back, get back in line. Wanamaker still the leader. This is going to help Joshua Buckley reel these guys into even more. 1.4 seconds is the gap from Buckley to Wanamaker. Just 1/10 though for Isaacs to Allen.
Yeah, Isaacs is trying to get the pass done on the bottom because Wanamaker is not giving him that outside lane. Wanamaker has been able to hold the lead over Isaacs because he's gotten this great drive off turn 2. Stays right on that patch of kind of newer asphalt there in 1 and 2. Here in 3 and 4, a little bit more of the same, not going anywhere below it as to not maybe slip up any. And he's able to get a really great run on exit. See, Isaac's gonna get under him, maybe, and not even got under him that time. Wanamaker just able to get a great drive off exit.
Yeah, Jerry Isaacs got second here last time out at Thompson. Started all the way back in 22nd. So he knows how to run up front, but I'm sure he wants that first spot this time around.
Yeah, I mean, the longer we get into this run, the less rubber's on these things. So you gotta be smart about it. You don't want to, burn up your car, maybe risk getting, self-spin, damaging your race car. He's going to be pretty even with him right here in 1 and 2, but Wanamaker just so good on the drive off on the top. I mean, it's almost been impossible to get even close to the run that Wanamaker has been able to find on the exits of these corners.
Yeah, too, and looking back at the previous race, back in June 4th, it's been a bit of a summer break for these drivers. That's something too, is they've only had 2 races in the past 2.5 months. So they're definitely a little rusty. Some of them are in the early stages, finally getting back going and getting to their former subs. But Isaac, lost that race by 700ths of a second. So I'm sure he definitely wants to win this one. Not just that, but last race only had 2 cautions for 9 laps. So we already blew that one out of the water. We're well past the halfway point now. Smooth sailing, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, when you lose one by that tiny little margin and you've got a shot at redemption right in front of you where you can get back to victory lane, obviously you're pretty eager, but it's going to be a tough challenge to get by Wanamaker, which, I mean, we have definitely seen that so far as we look here. More battling with Jewel for the 4th position, which, Bianchi, we talked about how maybe these guys wouldn't be all that patient with him any longer. Bianchi has slipped all the way back to the 8th position right now.
Yeah, battle for the lead. Isaac, as even as he's been all night, running the inside line, gets really inside. He's going to get loose off of turn 2. Same does Allen. Allen not as slow. Isaac's had a great shot. Looking again, going through 3 and 4, actually running the same line as Wanamaker.
Yeah, coming to 64 laps ago, you see these guys starting to both kind of slide on the exit of the corner. So maybe Wanamaker not as good on drive off, but still has enough momentum to say get on the breakaway from Isaac. But how about Buckley back here? He is definitely starting to get bigger in the picture as we have one that maybe has gotten into some trouble here, the 87 car of Todd Liston.
Remember, he was running in second before they got in that wreck with that bigger wreck there in 3 and 4, about 30, 40 laps to go. So still struggling big time. Go back and see what happened exactly. He was in that big pack of hippos there, ready to make a move.
See, so he's right behind.
It's Lil Jewel right behind. He's going in the 1 right now. Nobody gets loose off of 4, and nobody contact here with Lil Jewel going in the 1 through the grass. That's a great save, though.
It is a good save. Thankfully, there's a lot of room to save it down there. Not an inside wall immediately to his left there in these corners. Maybe just, we showed the contact a little bit there on the front stretch. Maybe just didn't have, the right entry angle into 1, washed up and got into Jewel, and battle for the lead still raging on here between Isaacs. Buckley is here, however. I think this is about to get even more exciting. These two have been battling the heck out of each other, and that has allowed Buckley to just close right in and maybe get a 2-for-1 deal for the race lead.
Yeah, if he just get lucky, he might win the lottery here and be able to get 2 birds with 1 stone. Maybe a bunt from Isaac's gone wrong. And on top of this, Lloyd Moore and Thomas Ogle in your 4th, 5th spot have also made up a ton of time. So this battle, and it's only going to get worse unless someone's able to pull away or make a move, is allowing the field to reel itself back in.
Yeah, and we were talking about the start of the race, about the AI predicted top 10 finishers for tonight's race. You know who wasn't in that projected top 10, Brayden?
Who's that?
That's Alan Wanamaker. He is our race leader. Was not projected in the top 10 tonight. Would be quite the upset if he could get it done. But he's got 2 very aggressive cars behind him that want to get out of behind his race car.
Yeah, Buckley there in that 3rd spot. He gonna make a move. Same with Jerry Isaacs. But Wanamaker playing defense as good and as skillful as he can. So all these drivers started next to each other, 6th, 8th, and 7th, respectively. Contact for the lead. Isaac's gonna get loose. Isaac's gonna bobble. Gonna allow Joshua Buckley to slide right on by. So now Buckley's gonna have his chance to go chase down Alan Wanamaker.
Yeah, Wanamaker got a little sideways there off 4. Obviously wasn't trying to make contact with Isaacs, but that did allow Buckley to slip by. Not what the 51 wanted to see, because now he's behind a car that's probably faster than he is at this point. And now he doesn't have as much of a chance to get by Wanamaker for the lead. He's got a tougher task at hand now. But Buckley's not quite right on the rear end of Wanamaker yet.
He's pretty close. The thing with Buck, he's been able to run his line and save his tires a little bit. He's not been gaining on them by pushing 110%. He's been gaining on them because they've been dragging themselves down to 90%.
Oh, he's going to look to the top. Well, we were talking about how Wanamaker was going to make Isaacs pass him on the inside because Wanamaker's got these amazing corner exits where he's been able to clear them, no matter what. No matter how hard they drive it in, no matter how even they get with Allen, he's been able to clear him off corner exit. Buckley tried to set it up to go to the outside of Wanamaker in turn 3 a lap or so ago. Overdrove a little bit, was able to keep it out of the fence, but definitely going to be a tall task to get by Wanamaker. He's going to make them do it on the inside.
Yeah, I think that's the pressure tires as the
Rushing the wall now.
Wall, yeah. I think things about making a move, not able to seal the deal, though. Remember, this was, your lineup at the restart. Buckley, Wanamaker, and Isaac were on your top 3. Wanamaker leading the field there, and Buckley had a chance and fell back to 2 seconds, almost behind, and then Wanamaker and Isaac battling side by side. Now Buckley have a little bit of better run, no better speed, and not hurt his tires as much, and that's what let him go in. So fastest car on the track right now, actually Lloyd Moore in the 4th position, and now just under 2 seconds. So we talked about these guys for 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds behind their leaders almost, and now here they are, a lot of the field within 5 seconds. So this battle definitely heated up. It's costing not only their tires, but their track performance and speed overall as well.
Yeah, I mean, the 26 is flying right now, silently inside the top 5, and little did we know, he's running these guys down. You can see the other cars in the top 5 there in the rear view mirror, Ogle being one of them. See, look back there.
Lap traffic also coming up for this. That might be crucial. Once again, it's Victor Lane and Torrance Childs. Both drivers actually battling for position in front of their leaders there in 1 and 2 in front of these guys. So they'll catch them in a handful of laps. Actually turning pretty similar lap time, so it might be a while, but when they get them, expect Isaac or Buckley to take advantage there.
And Buckley, Buckley and Isaacs kind of got into the wall off turn 4 a few laps ago. We saw that and kind of lost a little bit of their momentum. It did not take long for them to get right back up here to Wanamaker, who has his hands full because there are 2 very hungry race car drivers.
In front of the wall, in front of their leaders, Victor Lane goes in the wall, come up and turn 4, going to get down low. Real low, real slow, no caution, no need for it, but Wanamaker, Buckley, and Isaac all make it by without issue. I'm sure Alan Wanamaker was a little puckered up there more than he wanted to be.
Yeah, that was a great job of making sure to stay out of the leaders' way, not get them collected in anything. Got down to the bottom. Who did that help, though, is Lloyd Moore, who was already running these guys down. And they had to stack up just a little bit, maybe out of fear that they would get involved in something when it was going on ahead of them. But Lloyd Moore is on the charge, down to 1.5 seconds with 42 laps to go.
Yeah, some drivers definitely starting to pick up the pace a little bit. Alan Wanamaker able to get back in the mid to high-ish 18 seconds, same with Isaac and Buckley. So instead of trying to pass on there, they're just going to say, we're going to go all out here and pull away from these guys if they can. But meanwhile, Lloyd Moore turning a little bit quicker, him and Thomas Ogle. So your top 5 all within 2 seconds of one another.
Yeah, this is definitely going to ramp up here very soon. It's going to be interesting to see what might happen if the 26 can get here. Ogle trying to get there, but not quite as close to reeling these guys in.
We're going to do a little check-in too here on Brian Bianchi, our Culpeppers Bakery and Colony Tire check-in. I'm sure these guys would love some fresh rubber or a nice cannoli there from Colony Tire or Culpeppers Bakery. Let me tell you, Bianchi, we talked about him a little bit ago. Started second, did a great race going. It's unfortunate for him, got turned there early on and has made some great runs, some great speed trying to get back inside the top 5 and holding off a pack of hungry hippos. And let me tell you, they were hungry for some Culpeppers delight. Let me tell you, I've been looking at their cannolis, their cakes, and might have to make a trip over there.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Even right now, for maybe a little bit of a late night snack here in the booth. Wonder if they could DoorDash that to us here in Thompson. But nonetheless, like you said, great effort for Bianchi to rebound to the best of their ability. Getting involved in an accident, literally lap 2. Ogle has gotten back by them despite Ogle's trouble as well. So it'll probably be a pretty interesting look. The points will probably look pretty interesting post-race here.
Yeah, definitely for sure. As Bianchi, the only driver really, or the first driver not in that lead battle. So Ogle, Lloyd Moore, Jerry Isaacs, Buckley, and Alan Wallmaker reverse top 5, all within 1.5 seconds. Battle for the lead. Heated up there for a quick second. Torrance Childs finally got a third lap down. So I thought Isaacs was going to have an opportunity to get around Wanamaker, and they did not. So coming to 34 laps to go, and number 2, this green flag run came up on us out of nowhere.
Yeah, we had caution after caution after caution early on, and ever since then, I wouldn't say clean and green, but we have been green. Have had a few close calls with some of these guys, but they've all kept it straight for the most part. And I mean, here soon, we might just have a 5-car battle for the win as we got to the inside here.
Close it's been all night, even at the line. 1,000th of a second. Advantage goes to
Drives it in
Wanamaker.
hard, contact.
Isaac's going to have that advantage coming off of turn 2, though. New leader, Jerry Isaacs.
Yeah, we talked about how Wanamaker was going to make him get him on the bottom. He definitely did. Drove it in deep in turn 1. Maybe had to use a little bit of the paint on that yellow roll bars on the side of that thing to get to the lead. But nonetheless, Jerry Isaacs takes care of business. Now, Wanamaker's going to have to hold off Buckley and 2 other very hungry cars as well.
Yeah, it's been 4 months since Jerry Isaacs has led a lap in the YesterYear Racing. They're going to lead 58 back at Richmond. That's the only 58 he's led this season, but not anymore. So new leader by 4 or 5 tenths. Jerry Isaacs over Wanamaker, Buckley there in 3rd, Lloyd Moore in 4th, and then Thomas Ogle. We talked about drivers as Ogle actually getting the wall there. Drivers came down pit road after a flurry of cautions, expecting a long green flag run. Thomas Ogle, one of those drivers, currently some of the best rubber on the track and the best rubber in this pack here.
Yeah, I mean, this situation with our second place now runner Wanamaker is kind of similar to what I mentioned earlier about, one car maybe, the one car in front of you maybe being a little bit slower, and the other cars behind you are also faster, which means they might not be patient with you very long. So now Buckley here soonish, probably, we'll run out of time. Only got 28 laps to go now. If Buckley doesn't get past Wanamaker, anyone else in the top 5 might run out of patience with him.
And look at the gap that Jerry Isaacs has pulled away, over a second now to Alan Wanamaker. And you see the battle heating up there behind Wanamaker, Buckley and Lloyd Moore. Lloyd Moore in the bottom, the white and black 26. Buckley in the blue 13, and then Thomas Ogle in the black 13. All eager to get around Alan Wanamaker.
Yeah, I mean, it's go time there. These laps are going to tick by pretty fast. 27 laps might sound like a while, but this is a pretty short racetrack here at Thompson. Talk about how these guys can't be patient forever with Wanamaker, and now Moore. He had ran out of patience, but he's struggling to get by Buckley for even the 3rd spot, and Wanamaker's kind of holding them both up.
Yeah, definitely allowing Jerry Isaacs to pull away. 18.959 last time for Isaacs, 19.111 that time for Wanamaker. So, and the field behind him is all within a tenth or so because they're stuck behind him.
Yeah, I mean, Ogle right here is in a position where, we're going to use the bumper, and sideways goes Wanamaker. The 26 is going to be able to get by Moore, and we got a caution.
Perfect timing. Not sure what the caution's for. We got Brian Johnson rolling slow in the back, and that can be for Brian Johnson, it looks like, that 7th spot. So, perfectly timed caution. This is going to be a self-spin on Johnson here.
Yeah, this is just as unfortunate as the timing can get for our race leader. But let's take a look first at what happened here.
He's just going to get loose going through 1 and 2, and they're mainly coming off the turn 2, and the round is going to go. So enters a little bit higher. He gets in the marbles, and a little too heavy on the right foot, my friend. And let me tell you, Wanamaker's about to fall back outside the top 5, probably. or back to 5th, so I think he got lucky. Actually, Wanamaker's going to get 2nd place back from Jerry Isaacs.
Yeah,
As Isaacs down pit road. Not sure why Wanamaker isn't pitting, neither did Lloyd Moore.
Well, we did see just how long, you know, these, you get a good enough restart with these single file restarts. Maybe a little easier to hold them off, but still quite the gamble. I mean, this has been a very lengthy green flag run. These guys have used their stuff up. Can't imagine not electing for some new tires.
I mean, a fall off, it's only, you know, 2 or 3 tenths realistically. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to figure out who's going to win this race.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer.
Welcome back to the virtual Thompson International Speedway. As Lloyd Moore going to inherit the lead through pit stop. Thomas over there behind him. Joshua Buckley in 3rd. Lloyd Moore leads the field through 1 and 2 and under 20 laps to go.
Yeah, this is about to get very chaotic. Good restart indeed for the 26, but Ogle, the car that dominated this race early on, is right here trying to take it right back away.
All these rubbers on very old, about 90 to 120 lap old rubber. Meanwhile, Jerry Isaacs there in 4th leads a pack of 6 drivers, all with brand new rubber to last caution. So Jerry Isaacs, Bianchi, Liston, Lou Jewell, Alan Wanamaker, and Brian Johnson all have that frost rubber ready to go get a podium here.
Yes, I mean, we talked about how, you know, right before he went to break, not a lot of fall off. Lloyd Moore definitely showing no signs of being worse for the wear, quite literally. But Bianchi is crawling back up, and you know, I already mentioned how the points battle might be real interesting post-race here, and we only got 15 laps to go. Well, Bianchi's 5th, Ogle's 2nd. It's going to be an interesting trip out of here for those two to see how they stack up against one another.
Lloyd Moore, looking back, got 3rd here last time out at Thompson. Came in tonight 3rd in points, 78 points behind your leaders of Bianchi and Ogle. So if he can maintain the spot, maintain this gap over them, going to be a great night for him. Best finish this season is a 2nd back at Hickory and 2 third-place finishes. One at Thompson, like I mentioned, one at Martinsville. So trying to round out his podium finishes this season and get a 1st.
Yeah, we're looking at Wanamaker here, who definitely gave it his all that last run. Made the racetrack very wide. Kept the race lead. Finally got past, and got a little bit of a tap from behind. Almost lost it, and then we had the caution come out that has put us on this run to the finish. As we see Buckley trying to hold on for 3rd.
that Jerry Isaacs and Brian Bianchi have caught up to the older rubber of Buckley and Ogle. So they're going to have to try and work their way around. Coming to 10 laps to go this time by for Lloyd Moore. 2.5 tenths is a gap, which isn't much at all. Speed-wise, now they're trying to the quickest laps all night. The older rubber, we've seen it quite a bit in the YesterYear Racing League, where the past meets the present, the old rubber meeting the new rubber. The old rubber currently on top.
Yeah, I mean, it's really impressive what these guys have been able to do. You talked at the top of the show, these are some of the best modified drivers on the entire iRacing platform. They have shown that tonight. As Buckley took a near side look at Bianchi, thought about trying to get a 2-for-1 there. Hangs on. These guys are running out of time if they want to even take a slight crack at Moore, who is on the loud pedal out of here. Ogle hanging on tight to the second spot. But here comes Brian Bianchi looking for that podium spot.
They're running out of time is the name of the game. Green, white, checkered. Well, they didn't exist back in 1990. So if we get a caution within, 3-4 to go, that might be the race.
Yeah, so you got to play this like, a caution could end it at any point once we get to about, probably 5, maybe 4 to go. I'd say is definitely a safe bet on this. Probably won't go back green if there's a caution at that point, and that's only a couple laps away. So Bianchi giving it his all right now, not having a lot of luck. These guys have really been using the top much more than I would have anticipated. I know I've said that already, but goodness.
Jerry, I think also we mentioned he got up to third there. He's got some new rubber, so leads that fresh rubber train, trying to get around Thomas Ogle. Ogle doing a great job playing defense low.
Yeah, Ogle was obviously probably hoping to rebound from the accident, getting involved in a car that had spun out, turning down in front of them. They were the leader, but now it's down to holding on to second.
Yeah, battle for second, heating up big time. Ogle holding off Isaac's caution at this point, ends the race. So Isaac needs to get around Ogle, needs to do it right now. Might pull out the chrome horns, elects to not getting them dirty. Looking to the inside off of turn 2.
And Ogle's able to make that exit work on the top, but they're going to be side by side again. Oh, and here comes Bianchi. Little bit of contact as they go into turn 1.
And Lloyd Moore continues to lead the way, half to second, looking for 2 laps to go this time by. So about 1.25 miles for Lloyd Moore.
And the 41 of Bianchi driving it hard into turn 3 there, trying to hold on to even the 4th spot now. But Lloyd Moore, as long as they can stay mistake-free here, they're coming to the white flag. They should be home free to the checkered flag.
That battle for second still going on, but white flag in the air for Lloyd Moore. 1 more lap to go. That advantage 0.6 of a second. He didn't qualify tonight. He started 17th. He didn't need to qualify. Half a straightaway to go, or half a lap to go. He needed to be picture perfect. He needed to win. He needed to close up that points gap, and he's going to do it off of turn 4 for the final time. Lloyd Moore joins victory lane and going to find it here at Thompson.
Yeah, we got Ogle crossing the line in the runner-up position. Oh, but Lloyd Moore, talk about how far back in the field they started, but they kept their car perfect. They were here at the end. They were there when they needed to be. Look at that, lowest of 18th, and they're going to be celebrating here on the front stretch at Thompson.
He's finished second. He's finished third this season, and right past the halfway mark, he's going to bring it on home, get the job done, and he's going to get that first win of the season. And we mentioned we needed a great points line over Ogle and Bianchi, and, well, there's nothing better they can do than winning.
Yeah, absolutely not. Led 24 laps that little last stint that we had. And those are the most important ones. They given us a Polish victory lap here, Alan Kowicki style here around Thompson. Love to see that.
Yep, and waving to all the fans at home. I'm gonna get up by the fans, maybe do a U-turn. So we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're gonna see where they started and how they finished, and we'll talk to some drivers.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the virtual Thompson International Speedway, where Lloyd Moore just found his first victory of the season and does in spectacular fashion. So we had 18 drivers here tonight, and a handful of them finished on the lead lap. Take a look at the results. So Lloyd Moore, the actually going championship field, started last, but finished there in, for not first, but started second to last, finished his first. Thomas Ogle there in second, Jerry Isaacs there in third, Todd Liston in fourth, Brian Bianchi there in fifth, Joshua Buckley in sixth, Low Jewel in seventh, Alan Wallmaker, career night for him, leads a ton of laps. He's going to finish eighth, and Brian Johnson rounding out your lead lap drivers there in ninth, and Jeffrey Lyden rounding out your top 10. Shane.
And moving on to the 11th spot, we got Victor Lane, Bruce Pearson, all of these guys. A lot of them fell out of the race here. Torrance Childs in 13th, Ryan Pittman, Chris Davis, Thomas Hilbert, John Hastings, and Stephen Hilbert will round out our field tonight in the 18th position.
Yeah, definitely it was a race of attrition. We talked about the real life race, had 9 cautions for 46 laps. Tonight we had 5 for 25. No cautions, no problem though. Lloyd Moore gets the job done. Lloyd, first win of the season. How's it feel?
Pretty dang good, brother.
Now, we mentioned you came into the night third in points into the career night. You elected not to qualify, and then you stayed out there in the late race caution. Talk us through the strategy about that.
Well, I actually tried to qualify, and I spun coming out of turn 4, coming to the white flag, so it negated my first lap, and I didn't get a second lap in.
And then, I mean, at one point we saw in the standings you were as low as last place, and then you mentioned, or you mentioned staying out there late in the race for that last second caution. And did you expect the new Robert to not be able to catch you like that, or?
Well, I knew there was a few cars in between. I knew Tom was fast, and so I knew, the modifieds generally, when you get cool off the tires, you're good for 10 or 15 laps. And I'm like, we got to go 18, so I'm going to roll the dice and see how this thing sticks out, and hope that everybody else held up the guys on the 4 fresh tires.
Well, definitely went your way. Anybody want to thank and route to this victory here tonight?
Oh God, I gotta thank the Top Flight racing crew that I'm on and stuff with the OBRL, and my teammate in here, which is Jeff Lyden, the support that they give, and my employer, Duramac Truck Bodies, Magnum headache racks and stuff, jumping on board as a sponsor. So it's good to fly the colors and for the guys to get a chance to, look at some of these streams and watch what I do.
For sure. Definitely a great run, and hopefully we're talking Victory Lane a couple more times this season. That
would be nice. Hopefully so.
That was Lloyd Moore, your winner here tonight. In second low, it's Thomas Ogle. Started up front, comes from second. He's standing by with Shane.
Thomas Ogle, you got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Obviously, not quite the finish you wanted, but could have been a lot worse. We saw under that caution, some guys trying to flee the accident, probably trying to stay on the lead lap, came down, kind of damaged your 13 machine. Kind of take us through what happened there.
I just had, the caution came out quite a bit before that, so I was kind of just rolling around, and then I was paying attention, but I saw him up there, so I'm like, oh, they'll be fine. And then the guy took off and clipped me. I think it messed up my toe a little bit. I decided to pit there because I couldn't make it on fuel anyhow. So I had like 25 seconds of damage, and I got like 10 of it fixed and took 2 tires. I think my toe was knocked out a little bit because I didn't have the speed when we went back green that I had before that.
An impressive rebound to second nonetheless. Were you at all surprised by some of the track conditions tonight? I saw it pretty free, maybe with the cool track temp. Did any of that catch you off guard?
That it was kind of cool in practice too. So I think it was high 60s temp, and then it was like 72 track temp. So it kind of stayed the same. I was surprised at my qualifying lap. I had kind of resigned myself. I wasn't that fast in practice, and I just kind of went out there and let it roll and ended up getting a good lap. So that was a big advantage. But it was just, it was hard to pass. And once you get back in the pack, if you're off sequence and a guy in front of you is pitted a lap or two before you or a caution before you, it's going to be hard to pass. But I'll take a second after crashing into a lapped car and pitting and everything else. So yeah,
definitely some adversity thrown your way, which will help you in the championship fight, no doubt. Anybody you want to shout out here before we let you go tonight?
I want to thank Alan for putting on the league and all the time he spends getting the league going and keeping it together. It's a ton of fun and a lot of work for him. So I appreciate him and the guys that sponsor the league, and you guys for broadcasting it.
Right, of course, we love doing it. We wouldn't do it if we didn't. Tom, thanks for your time. Congrats on a great run. Hopefully this will help you in the pursuit of the championship.
All right. Hey, thank you. Have a good night, guys.
You too.
That was Tom Ogle finishing second here tonight. The driver in third place, Lowe, was so close last time here, a couple races ago. Tonight, he finishes third. Jerry Isaac talking through the race.
How you guys doing tonight?
We are fantastic, but I mean, you had definitely an up and down race.
Well, yeah, I kind of put that in myself when I pit for tires. I felt like tires would be a little better, but after trying to get around Allen for 70 laps, I should have known that track position is probably a little more important.
And then we talked about, you had an almost photo finish last time here back in June. You got second by 7/100ths of a second. It was a hurt knowing you had a ton of speed here tonight as well. I mean, you were up front for a good majority of this one, especially in the late stages, and to come home third. Does that disappoint you, or are you content with this third place run?
You know, right now I'm disappointed, obviously. You know, everybody's competitive. It's right after the race. I think in the long run, I'll be anytime I can podium, I'm pretty happy. I felt I had some speed. I think if we had stayed green, I might have been good because, you know, everybody was wearing their tires. I know I had some guys with newer tires behind me that were going to catch me, but I think I had enough of a gap. But once we had that last caution or second to last, I felt like tires would be good and just couldn't make it happen.
Well, for sure. Anybody want to thank about this third place finish here tonight?
Yeah, YesterYear Racing for putting on the session. This is a whole lot of fun. Really enjoying it. My folks over at Mad Sim for putting me in the car. And as always, hi, Mom.
Gotta give a shout out to Mom. So we appreciate you taking time to talk to us, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again in the near future.
I hope so. Thanks, guys. You put on a great show. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Jerry. So let's go ahead and talk about the future. The past has come and gone. The present is here, and the future is now. Week 9, Myrtle Beach. Next week, we got a 3-race stretch here. Next week, we mentioned August 27th at 8:15 p.m. Eastern. We go into the sunny state of... Actually, I'm not gonna lie. Where is Myrtle Beach, Shane? Is that North Carolina, South Carolina?
South Carolina.
I'm about to say Florida. I'm like, well, Myrtle Beach is not in Florida.
I'll be honest. I wouldn't have known if I hadn't been there. Been to Myrtle Beach myself. I haven't been to this facility though, but obviously it's got a pretty great reputation hosting the Battle at the Beach. Obviously, I think we'll be in for a great show at Myrtle Beach next week.
For sure, and definitely. Fun race night, race of attrition, and what do you think of the race, Shane?
It was a lot of fun. I think that these guys put on a great show. Definitely some of the best modified drivers I've seen on this service, and excited to see what else they've got in store for us the rest of this season.
Well, we're going to go ahead and take a thank you to the YesterYear Racing administration team led by Alan Wanamaker for all their hard work in bringing this league to life. Once again, calling the action again with myself, Frank Nash, alongside me with Shane Mundy in the booth with DJ Line producing. Thank you to all of our viewers for watching tonight's racing action. We hope you stay tuned for all of our social media pages for our next race. Thank you to the entire staff for their work in bringing this racing to you. This has been a production of Maconi Entertainment, and we will see you next time.